All right, let's talk about Oggy and the Cockroaches. If you've ever seen it, you know well, it's a lot. It feels like a complete fever dream, right? Just this whirlwind of slapstick, absurdity, and pure, unfiltered chaos. But what if I told you that hiding underneath all that madness is a surprisingly simple and kind of brilliant formula? Yeah, I'm not making that up. That's a real line from the show. A character sees another character's tongue is covered in little spots, and that's the first thing his brain comes up with. It's weird, it's hilarious, and it makes you ask a pretty simple question. Exactly. How does this completely bonkers world become a global hit? Well, it turns out there really is a method to the madness. There's a secret blueprint holding the whole thing together. So let's deconstruct this chaos. First things first, to understand anything about this show, you have to get the engine that drives every single episode. It's not complex, but it is the one thing that never, ever changes. And this right here, this is it. This is the entire foundation of the show. So simple. Oggy just wants some peace and quiet and, to eat his own food. The cockroaches have one mission in life: destroy that peace and quiet, usually by stealing his food. Every single chase, every explosion, every crazy plot, it all grows from this one basic conflict. It's so universal, you don't even need dialogue to understand it. So once you have that engine, the rivalry, the show creates these predictable battlegrounds where the chaos can just run wild. We're calling them the arenas of anarchy. Okay, so arena number one, and it's the most common one, the kitchen. Food is always the ultimate prize. The second Oggy tries to make himself a meal, the cockroaches launch what is basically a full-scale military operation to steal it, eat it, or, well, just turn it into something completely insane. And this gives you an idea of the kind of culinary chaos we're talking about. These are actual dishes that get created in the crossfire. The kitchen doesn't just get messy, it produces a menu that sounds like it was written by a surrealist artist. Chicken chop suey with cockroach masala has to be my personal favorite. And this formula isn't just for food fights. It applies to all the pranks too. Even the most random gags follow this clear four-step structure. It always starts simple. Oggy's just chilling. Then, the cockroaches introduce one single object, like an onion or a thermometer. From there, it escalates wildly. And finally, the punchline, where Oggy himself is literally transformed into something ridiculous, like an ice cube or even an omelet. It's setup, escalation, consequence, and punchline. Every single time. And just in case you were wondering what over-the-top consequence means, in one episode, a cure for Oggy's fever involved the undergarment of a cockroach, an undergarment that hadn't been washed in 2 weeks. That's the level of extreme, gross-out detail that just defines the show's sense of humor. And then you have the third arena. This is where the show just decides, you know what? Reality is optional. We go from stealing food to Oggy having to literally fight his own shadow because his shadow decided to quit and go rogue. This willingness to jump from simple slapstick right into total metaphysical chaos is a huge part of the formula. But what you see is only half the story. For a huge part of its audience around the world, Oggy's success comes from a secret weapon you might not even realize is there, a very, very specific use of language. You'll hear words like this one all the time, Jakas. It's a classic piece of Mumbai slang, and it basically just means awesome, brilliant, fantastic. Right away, it sets a very specific high-energy tone. And then there's this one, Ma Moo. Now, this literally translates to maternal uncle, but that's not how it's used here at all. It's more like calling someone dude or pal. And let's do one more, another staple, Beatsu. It's another super casual, friendly term, kind of like buddy. It gives the whole thing a very street-smart, recognizable vibe, if you're in on the joke. So what's the big deal? Well, this isn't just random slang. This is Bombaya Hindi, the unique dialect you'll hear on the streets of Mumbai. By adding this layer of specific language, the dub gives the show a totally unique personality. It takes the universal comedy and grounds it in a very real local culture, which adds this whole other layer of humor for millions and millions of people. Okay, so we've got the core conflict, we've got the recurring arenas of chaos, and we've got that special linguistic flavor. Let's put all the pieces together and see the simple formula that makes this show such a massive hit. And there you have it. It's an equation. You take a simple rivalry that anyone on Earth can understand, you add a set of reoccurring scenarios that give structure to the chaos, and then you add that secret ingredient, a dash of local flavor through language. And what do you get? A global hit. That's the recipe. And when you think about it, it's kind of genius because each part does a very specific job. The rivalry is for everybody. The predictable setups make the wild chaos feel safe and familiar. And that local slang makes a global cartoon feel like it was made just for you. It's a model that's super simple, incredibly adaptable, and you can repeat it forever. So it leaves you with a question, right? The next time you're watching something that just feels like mindless fun, maybe take a closer look. You might find there's a really smart, really simple formula hiding just beneath the surface. What other chaotic shows do you think are secretly running on a brilliant little engine?